Hey everyone, today I am back with another recipe. I'm going to be showing you how to make this delicious winter melon and lentil sambar. Now, if you aren't familiar with the word sambar, it's traditionally a South Indian dish that resembles a sort of veggie and lentil stew or gravy. It is super comforting and nourishing, and this recipe is actually inspired by my mum, who makes this all the time, and it is one of my favorites. There are plenty of variations on this dish depending on the kinds of vegetables and lentils that you choose to use, but today I'm making it using some winter melon. Also, I'm making this without any onion or garlic, so for any friends out there who are intolerant to either or both, I would definitely recommend giving this recipe a try. As always, the written recipe is linked down below, and let's get started. So there are essentially two components to this dish. You have the main component and then you have the seasoning at the end. For the main component, you are going to need about 1 kilogram of winter melon chopped up into medium to large chunks. If you live in Melbourne, you can actually pick this up from Henry's or the Marketplace, which is located at most big shopping centres. Otherwise, just check at any Asian grocery store that also sells fruit and veg. You will also need 3 medium tomatoes, roughly chopped into chunks, some freshly chopped coriander, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 tablespoons of sambar powder. You can find this at your local Indian grocery store. This is the one that I would recommend, but any brand you can find is fine. 2 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of tamarind puree, and 1 cup of split pigeon pea lentils. For the seasoning at the end, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. I'm using some olive oil, 2 teaspoons of whole black mustard seeds, and about 1/4 teaspoon of asafoetida. If you don't know what that is, feel free to check out my previous video or the description for more info. It is optional, so you can always leave it out if you don't have any on hand. So to make this dish, start off by placing about 4 cups of water in a saucepan and bringing that to a boil. You'll want to wash and drain your lentils, and then once the waters come to a boil, add them to the saucepan and let them cook for about 25 to 30 minutes until they're soft and tender. If you have an Instant Pot or pressure cooker on hand, I definitely recommend using it, as it does speed up this process significantly. To a separate saucepan, add in your winter melon and tomatoes along with about 3 to 4 cups of water, making sure that the water level sits a few inches below the surface of your vegetables. I would always recommend starting with less water and then adding more as required, otherwise you might find the end result too thin in consistency. Let your vegetables simmer until they're almost cooked, which for me took about 15 to 20 minutes, and then once the lentils in the separate saucepan were done, I added them to the vegetables along with the turmeric powder, sambar powder, salt, and tamarind puree. Give everything a nice mix and let that simmer on for about 10 minutes or longer until the veggies are perfectly done. You can then turn off the heat and stir in your freshly chopped coriander. Then it's time for the final seasoning. This is of course optional, but I definitely recommend it if you want to experience the full flavors of this dish. To a mini saucepan, add in your cooking oil and let that heat up on a low flame. Then add in your mustard seeds, cover your saucepan and let them pop. Once the popping slows down, add in your asafoetida, remove the saucepan from the heat and add the seasoning into your vegetable and lentil stew. It is going to sizzle a little bit when you pour it in, just try and do this step nice and slowly. Stir in your seasoning until everything is well combined, and that is it. The dish is now ready to be enjoyed. I personally love to have this with some cooked white rice, but you can also pair this with some brown rice, some quinoa, some flatbread, or honestly, you can even have this on its own as it makes for a delicious soup. I hope you guys will give this recipe a try. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you do and how it turns out. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then it would be a great help if you could give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to join along for more videos in future, then be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in next week's video.